It wasn't exactly a shocker today, Jack, that Fred Thompson announced he's dropping out of this race. But let's take a look at the political fallout among the Republicans. Who gains, who loses?
Well, if he hadn't announced it, I'm not sure anybody would have noticed. I mean, it's like he's only been here, he wasn't that interested in campaigning. I think he would have liked it if somebody would have said, you can be the president, but he didn't want to work to get the job. And I'm not sure his departure means a heck of a lot for anybody. Somebody said that he might be trying to position himself to be vice president. He'll deny that. If Giuliani were to get the nominee, he might need a conservative like Thompson on the ticket with him. If McCain becomes the nominee, I'm not sure that there's Fred's going to have to get those residuals coming in.
Well, if the conventional wisdom is that Thompson's support, such as it is, because it wasn't a tremendous amount, would go to Huckabee, because, of course, he's a conservative and a social conservative, and that those voters who liked Fred Thompson, that's the way he ran.
And a Southerner, too.
Yeah, and a Southerner might go to Mike Huckabee. But, right now, Huckabee's campaign is running on fumes. I don't think he's in a position to really take advantage of that. So watch for Mitt Romney, who is also running as a social conservative, to go after those 6 or 7 Thompson voters that are out there, and he'll try and get them.
Wolf, you have to go all the way back to Rudolph Giuliani to find a campaign that has been singularly as unsuccessful as Fred Thompson's has been. And I just don't think it will have any impact at all, his departure,
well,
just as his arrival did.
It could have an impact in new episodes of Law and Order, though.
It could, but this was such an interesting candidacy. It was created by the Republican establishment in Washington, who felt that they needed a new horse. They needed someone else. So they created this. They took a guy who was on television. They said, let's turn him into a presidential candidate. He will clearly appeal to the American public. And it totally flopped.
It's like 1984 when the Democratic establishment said, let's have John Glenn run for president. He was an astronaut. He was terrific. It turns out not one person in America wanted to vote for him. That was the only problem.
Take a look at all the other ideas the Republican establishment in Washington's had for the last 7 years. No surprise to me the Fred Thompson thing didn't go anywhere.
I can't tell you how many people in that Republican establishment, especially here in Washington, the Beltway, the Republican lobbyists, the so-called elite, when they were even thinking of getting him in, they said, this is the new Ronald Reagan. He's an actor, he's mediagenic, he's powerful, and he's really going to turn things around.
If you want to look at the definition of irrelevant, look up the Republican establishment in Washington, D.C. That's irrelevant.
Fred Thompson definitely was the tallest candidate.
Right. But, it's so...
and the baldest.
It's so arrogant, though, to think that you can be anointed in Washington, and you're pretty good on television, and you look pretty good, and you have great name recognition because you're in Law and Order, and, gee, I can then become president. And I think they talked him into it, and I think they said to him, you don't have to work that hard. You can actually just get this job, get in late, let the public take a look at you. You're different. You're going to win. Didn't work out that way.
He bought that part about not having to work very hard. He liked that part. It's like sit in the trailer till it's time for your close-up, Fred.
Thank you very much.